Before Wizkid had his first hit single, he'd been in the studio as a studio rat for 2 years.
Yeah.
They didn't even allow him to jump on a microphone. I hate professional business people. I hate professional industry people because they come off heartless, they come off cold. Surround yourself with the right type of energy. If you're surrounded by people that don't tick certain boxes, you're already on the losing side. You asked me about people that I've supported. I've supported people that didn't have nothing that became the biggest superstars.
Hey, what's happening, my people? Welcome again to Heroes Diary HD, the show that celebrates black success. Listen, the numbers are ticking in, the views are coming in, we're climbing. Things are going on, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm so glad. Thank you. If you've been with us, if you've been joining, you've been watching on YouTube, you've been liking, you've been, all the comments and all that, we really appreciate that. If you're new, if you're just tuning in now, welcome. Today I'm going to be running it with, now, as always, sometimes we bring some really interesting people, beautiful people to kind of just run the show together. And I've got none other today than the beauty herself. Noma, Noms. What's up, girl?
Hey. Thank you for having me once again.
See?
You've been doing your thing. I'm proud.
Yeah, man. We're watching you from the sidelines doing your thing as well, and killing it as always, isn't it?
I am honored to be back again on the Heroes Diary podcast. Well, I've made it in life.
Oh my God. See you, man. Let's sign the checks rolling. All right, Noms, today is going to be a hot one, man. Seriously, it's going to be hot.
It's fire.
It's fire now. You see, look at me now.
Flexing
all the muscles and all that.
The real big boys are outside today.
The energy got in. It's all because today we got to lift up the energy, man. We've got the energy God himself in the house. Adeshope Olajide, a.k.a. Shopsy Doo. Happening, boss.
Listen, man, thank you very much for having me on the Heroes Diary podcast. We've been trying to set this up,
bro, long time.
Forever.
Man's too busy, man.
Nah, I think we're both extremely blessed to be doing what we're doing.
Yes.
So when you have people that are energetic, moving around, trying to create history, most times the time just doesn't align, because we're both in different directions trying to make things happen. But as always, the right energies will come together.
Energies. No. We're so grateful to have you on, man. Boss,
Thank you for having
good.
me.
I mean, like you rightly said, extremely busy. I know we're all blessed, but it'd be like your own blessing is like another level blessing, globetrotting.
He's booked and busy.
Everywhere, man.
Getting flued out.
Whenever I hear that, I don't know why it always sounds seedy. Like
it sounds girly.
Yeah, like it sounds girly, like you're getting flued out. Yeah.
But you are getting flued out,
Flued out, man.
From
seriously.
country to country, you're booked out here.
The funny thing is, I've never been a travel type of person. Never. I'm not a holiday person. I'm not a travel plane person. I've never been. When it's time for my family holiday, it's like you drag me along.
Wow.
That kind of thing. So, and it takes me about 48 hours to really get in. And within 2 days, we're out. But because of my job and maybe the love for the Afropop culture, I've now been put in a position where I have to go to places. I have to travel around. And then now I appreciate that a lot more. Maybe because that really wasn't my own lifestyle. It's just something that comes with the job now.
Yeah. So are you enjoying it now, or you're still doing it just for the job? Because you seem to really love it, bro.
So I'll tell you this. I love the reason why I'm doing it, which is I'm going to different places to celebrate Afropop culture, Afrobeats. And because of the love for the culture, whatever else comes with it, I just kind of take that as the norm. and carry that.
The Noms.
Yeah,
I
as
got
they know,
Noms.
and carry that on my shoulder and just rock with it. But really and truly, it's more about the culture. The reason why I'm going to those places. The reason why, for example, I will turn up in a Poland, for example. I'll be in Israel. I'm in Rwanda.
Yeah. Bro, we were both in when Miami,
Yep.
Portugal,
Yep.
Atlanta, all these other places. Bro, man, we don't try so.
You guys are chopping life,
And
a
again-
real chop life crew.
And again, even though he mentions those three places just like that, we were there solely to promote the culture.
To promote the culture,
Yes,
man.
for sure.
Yeah.
That
You
was
are.
why we were there.
Yeah,
And again, if you're talking to people and talking about the places that you've been to, oh, we're in Miami, we were in Atlanta, people be like, oh, more you guys. But for me, I'm having turnarounds of 48 hours. In some cases, 17 hours.
Yeah.
Some other
'Cause I know you
cases,
had to
24
run
hours.
in a lot of
So I
places.
basically just come in, do what I have to do, and I'm out. So it
Fly
was
back out.
purely for the job and the culture.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
wanted to say, I think they say the devil works hard,
Yeah.
but Shopsy Doo works harder. This man, like you said, in 1 month he'll be in 10 different countries. But not only that, you're doing business. You're a businessman.
Yeah.
Energy God.
Yes.
You have your podcast.
Yes.
You have a full-time job.
Yes, I do.
You're a father.
Yes.
You also support artists on a personal level
Yes.
in terms of their business.
Yes.
How do you handle that? How do you handle your time and stay sane? Because what you do is absolutely incredible.
No, thank you. A lot of people ask me that question, and I think not really planning it or thinking about it makes it easy to do. Number one, my position in my mind, still till now, doesn't feel like a job. I am a fan first, and I refuse to take myself out of that position. I feel that once you take yourself out of a fan position, you put yourself in a powerful place. And we know what happens to people with power. You get drunk, you misuse it, a lot of things happen. So rather than put myself in a position of power and influence, I'll be the giggly, loud, excitable one. And that's what you keep seeing where I am. So with all the things you've said, the only thing that sits in my mind as a job is my full-time job. I've worked for the government for over 2 decades in a full-time capacity.
Right.
And I've never left that.
What do you want to tell us about that?
So I work in housing.
Okay.
I manage a team that works in temporary accommodation, allocating to families struggling with getting on their feet.
Well, I get plenty of
support.
people.
Nah,
What do we do? I have some people where they find house.
nah. It's 20 years too late now.
Yeah.
Now there's a cost of living crisis in the country, and a lot of families and single people and single parents are going through some of the toughest times I've ever experienced ever. And being in that position, even though it's a job that pays me and takes care of my family, it also keeps me grounded. Because with the entertainment industry, I'm around affluence. I'm around some of the most successful people that I've ever come across.
Yeah.
Davido's probably got chains worth over $1 million, $2 million on his neck at any time. Burna Boy the same. His private jets and entourages, with Emi Alade here and there, So you see affluence, you're around the entertainment industry that gives you a vision of what reality really isn't.
Yeah.
But my full-time job keeps me on the ground and lets me know that there's a different side to the world.
Just want to thank you guys again for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, for hitting the notification bell, for doing all that stuff. You are really pushing us. You're making this dream happen, and we're so grateful to you. And if you're new, hit that like button, hit that comment. Let's hear from you. We need to hear from you. We need to know what's up, how we can make this better, how we can turn all this and sort of get it going. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to the show. It's Shopsy Doo.
Yes, sir.
Bro, man, listen. Each time I see you, or each time everyone see you, you're in the backstage. You're with all these big artists. You're with people who are running the industry. I mean, how is it possible to know so many big people?
Because number one, when you've been in an industry for a long time, you tend to know people before they became superstars.
Right.
I met Wizkid as an 18-year-old on a couch at Smade's house. This was a young man with just one hit record and hadn't done too much. I posted a video a couple of days ago where he had said 13 years ago that 2011 was going to be his year. Fast forward to 2023, it's been a decade since. With Davido, the same thing. Again, if you are genuinely passionate about something, a culture, a genre, an industry, and you would support that whether you make money or not, stay the course. You will meet people when they are bag carriers, and you stay around long enough to see them become award carriers. So that's how, I've developed a lot of relationships because, in the entertainment industry, especially time and time ago, people used to learn their craft. Nobody just turns up like they do today.
Yeah.
Viral TikTok video, viral.
No. One video
You've
make it
been hanging
superstar.
around. Before Wizkid had his first hit single, he'd been in the studio as a
Neo
studio rat
Jueleba.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
They didn't even allow him to jump on a microphone. So that was, so he was gonna, I met Casper Nyovest as a dancer to Double HP in 2013.
Wow.
Yes! I went to watch Double HP perform. I'd done an interview with him in a place called Charlie's in Old Street. We'd done the interview. I'd watched him perform. We were supposed to go because we were going somewhere else. But there was a captivating dancer that was just dancing heavily beside Double HP, Hip Hop Ansula, the late hip hop legend in Africa from South Africa. And this dancer was also like a backup singer and rapper. Fast forward 7 years, is arguably the biggest artist out of South Africa, doing 70,000 capacity stadiums.
Yeah.
But I met him as a dancer, So that's what happens when you hang around a culture long enough and willing to just push around it, whether you're getting paid or not. You'll be blessed enough to live long enough to see people transition from different levels of success.
Do you still find that generally they still remember you after all that transition?
Yes.
Or do you get these situations where they're too big?
No, a lot of them actually, some of them I don't even remember.
Yeah.
They remind me of,
you met.
Do you understand? Because remember, one of the laws of the game is also to treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
People remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
They might not remember a lot of other things, but the feeling you gave them would stick with them forever. So whenever they see you in whatever capacity they're in, they're always going to remember, that feeling. I saw Kenilola yesterday, and I haven't seen her in maybe 5 years that we've sat down well. I saw her briefly last year, and every time we see each other, it's like run to each other, jump up, make noise, that kind of, because that was how the relationship started when she was not this big.
Which was not this big, yeah.
So anytime we see each other now, people would see her and be like, oh, that's the superstar. But I knew her when she was not at that moment.
So Noms, what it is essentially.
I think for me, the one thing about Shopsy is that he will support you as if your family, like that's bro, that's my sister. And I think that's the one thing that will always be so special about you, because this industry can be a little bit tough and not as friendly, not as welcoming. But one thing about you is that you're open arms with everybody. You mentioned that it takes time sometimes. You have to stick the course in order to get to the other side where you're now booked and busy, you're seeing the money coming in. For you, what has that learning process been like in terms of the business side of the music industry? Because like you said, it takes a while.
Absolutely.
So what have you learned, and what can other people learn from your journey?
For me, the first thing is you must be prepared to work hard without expectations of rewards. Again,
Repeat that.
be
Let them hear.
prepared
Let them
to
hear properly.
work hard without expectations of rewards. So if you have got a talent, if you can do something, put that talent to the table. Use it as a bet for whatever in the future. Because when I ask the simplest questions, whenever I see anybody, a photographer, anybody on a podcast, anybody, I say, so, what's the dream with this thing? Do you know what the wrong answer is?
Money.
When you have an expectation, within the next 1 year, I want to have 100,000 subscribers. Within the next 1 year, I want to. There's no such thing, because that 1 year could be 8, could be 10. Gangnam Style had his hit record at 47.
Wow.
Yes. Michael Bolton was signed at 17 and didn't have his first hit record till he was 38. By the time he was 45, he was a legend. So are you ready
Insane.
to sacrifice 17 years blindly because you believe in this thing?
Bro,
so
okay,
for
how
me,
you took 17 years when in this day of social media, how can you even convince an average youth to spend 7 months? Because they're expecting viral. They're expecting to hit.
Because
Because
a lot of people, you asked me what the journey is. Passion. Passion is different. When you're doing something for results, it's different to when you're doing something just because it makes you feel good. The number one law I will teach, that's what I'm shouting at my kids about, is no matter what you want to do in life, have a hobby. If you support your hobby long enough, it will give you one of two things. It can lead you to money or lead you to happiness. Depending on the kind of human being you are, either one is a success. Either one. If it just brings a smile on your face.
Like the money is...
No! Because you can get the money and not be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said a hobby. A hobby.
Did you know?
If it's a hobby, it's something that you do for various reasons. It could be to
Absolutely.
make you fit, just bring a smile on your face. I know photographers who are photographers just because they like taking pictures. Wherever they go, they take some of the most incredible pictures that you'll be like, who took this? Guess what? They're not even paid for it. They post it on social media. One of the pictures they put out might now hit 1 million likes. And everybody starts to go to them like, yo, this picture of the lion eating in Uganda or whatever was taken by a photographer that probably was not a professional getting paid for it. There are people like that. And that's what I want to share with young people. Have your passion, have your hobby. It will take you 2 ways. If you're strong with your passion enough, it can lead you to money. Or it can lead you to happiness. In the pandemic, we saw a shift, especially with young black women in the United Kingdom, where their passion of makeup, cooking, hairstyling became a business.
Became business,
Because this was what they were doing for their friends. Whenever we're going to a party, everybody goes to Fumi's house or whatever, and she makes everybody up before we go out. This is my friend that does our hair, blah, blah, blah. But when the pandemic hit, we found out that we couldn't go to the shops, but I can call Fumi up. And then this 70, 100 pounds or whatever, she starts to book 4 or 5 people a day. Hey, it's a business. People were delivering food. She's such a great cook. We always knew Ayo was a great cook. But now that we couldn't go out to restaurants, we can call her and order delightful meals and pay for it. And then people started to scale up. But if you ask Ayo or Fumi or whoever, they'll tell you these were just hobbies and passion. So with the young people still get it. It's just that a lot of people are not, you're not putting the information on the table the way it's supposed to be. And you're not showing people that, I am a symbol of nothing but work.
Perseverance.
There's nothing
Consistency.
else you see around me apart from just doggedness. I'm just going to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
You know, if I believe in it, I'm going to keep on doing it as long as I'm not, I'm not disturbing anybody. I'm not begging anybody for nothing. I'm cool. You know, let me just do what makes me happy. Oh, we wake up tomorrow, it does well, fantastic. No, we keep on building. I've done it so long to know that the only thing that works is consistency. That's the only thing that works.
You've led me to my next question, Shopsy. You were
Yes.
talking about consistency, which
Yes.
is the one thing I've observed about you over the last several years that I've known you. And the one thing people may not know or might have seen a little bit is you've lost your Instagram account several times. Not just once,
Yeah.
not twice,
Yes.
several times. And at a point where you had over 100,000 followers.
Yes.
How do you pick yourself up and restart from zero, especially now in a time where your social media is currency and that is technically your business? How do you restart and you pick yourself up and you go again?
So the social media doesn't make me. I make the social media.
Yeah.
Talk your
And I'll
talk.
explain this
Yeah,
way. So I realized that it really wasn't about the numbers and the platform. It was actually about you. So people were interested in what I was interested in.
Yeah.
The videos that I shared, the angle and the perspective that I came from. That's what entertained people. So even though I'd lost the numbers and people would be like, yo, everybody was trying, they hit me up with one of the biggest bosses or Instagram and da-da-da. I'm an Ekiti man. If you're from Nigeria, there's an incredible part of Nigeria called Ekiti State. And in Ekiti State, we have some of the most intellectual human beings, probably the largest numbers of professors in the country, especially pride. We're very prideful people. We don't beg for nothing. We don't beg for favors. We don't ask for nothing. And even though I'm so far away from home, once in a while, my blood, reminds me of where I'm
You
from.
got the Nigerian blood
Yes,
in you.
where when I'm put in a position where I have to beg. And I realized that I actually beg for what? I don't have to beg nobody for nothing. That happened. Let me carry on doing what I'm doing. Like I said to you, I realized that a lot of the content that people actually wanted to see was not the polished stuff, was not the glitz and glamour. They rather see the raw, uncut footage of people that they don't get that much access to. But guess what? I'm blessed to have that access with them.
Right.
So it's easy to say, okay, we lost on that one, but let's keep going. Again, it brings me back to consistency. When you're consistent at anything, you'll be consistent at everything.
I mean,
Anything.
you can be consistent at everything.
You have that element in you.
Right.
It's a trait that you can use in any form. Some of us just might tend not to bring it up where you're supposed to. Oh, maybe your missus wants you to take her out every once a week. I'm tired, man. I'm just being lazy. But if I wanted to, I have the trait of consistency that works in my business, works in the gym, and works with the entertainment industry. So I can also reflect that in anything else. So I think that is probably the most important. If you're going to take anything away from this conversation today, especially my story, I think the word consistency is everything to me. And because of that, I'm able to start again and again and again.
So like like with everything now, you got to develop. You got to develop and build like muscles. You got to
Yes.
develop it and build it and all that.
Yes.
Apparently, like we've rightly said, for younger generations, for the youth, you know,
Yes.
these days, it's not something they're very used to. It's a fast world now. Everybody wants it now.
Yes.
You want something sharp. You want it good. It doesn't work. You're upset and you're having mental, all this kind of things,
depressed.
depression and, mental health problems and all this kind of stuff just because one thing you tried didn't work. Especially for young people today. How do you develop consistency, the habit of being consistent?
You have to teach, you have to practice it, just like a muscle. It has to be trained as regularly as possible. Surround yourself with the right type of energy. If you're surrounded by people that don't tick certain boxes, you're already on the losing side. When you look around you, the first 1 or 2 or 3 people around you must be in certain positions. This one is for motivation. This one is for mental health and support. This one is for ideas and growth. This one is just for pushing. Whatever it is I say, let's do, he's ready, let's go. And as a young person, that's when you're still even more active. Your mind is receptive to grow. So whoever surrounds you has the power to influence your growth. And I think that's really what we need to start teaching young people, that, listen, it's never too late. When I meet people like 17, 18, or 21-year-old talented photographer or videographer, I look at them like gods. Because at 21, you're this talented. I didn't even know
what you were going to do.
I couldn't turn on the washing machine until I was 28.
Shopsy.
I was spoiled.
No, but that's true. That's actually true.
Did that.
That's actually true, man. That's
so
actually true.
when I see a 21, like my daughter's 17 years old, and I'm looking at her and how she's writing her stuff, applications for universities. She's learning how to drive by herself. She goes to work and comes back 6-7 hours a day. I'm like 17. At 17?
It's like the world is her oyster.
What? It took me almost 10 years more, if not 12 years more, to even be in the state of mind. So imagine that type of person being guided and surrounded by the right people to say, now you're already on the path. All you need to do is watch the people that surround you and start to practice a little bit of consistency. The fact that she can wake up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning and go to work for 9 hours tells me everything.
Yeah.
So now you just need to guide that. A lot of them don't have that. They don't have that level of consistency to even go into the gym, go to the swimming pool, do anything at all. And when you don't, you're hoping for a big hit every time.
Yeah.
The first picture you take, you hope it goes viral. The little video you do, you're praying to God. You want everything to work now. By the third one that it doesn't work, you're telling everybody it's a waste of time. Yes, and for me, that's just it. You have to teach it early, and people have to get on early to it.
Oof. What do you think about that?
I mean, you're speaking facts. And you've said this to me several times, consistency and the passion. How did those two come into play, as well as you spoke about the importance of your community and those you surround yourself with? How did it come into play when it came to creating Energy God Energy Drink?
The funny thing, right? Because a lot of people had always referred to me as the energy god. I'm always energetic with everything, my stage, hosting, this, that, and the third. One of my friends had come to me and said, listen, man, let's try to get an endorsement with some of these energy drinks. Of course, that's the way to go. It fits. You're the energy god. Let's go and speak to one of these people. Let's write proposals. Shout out to my brother Donald. And he was sitting at the table, emailing people. He was already connecting me with people. Let's get this energy endorsement. Let's get it done. That was the mindset. As everything else, when you're chasing and begging, once again, you put yourself in a position where you're at the mercy of other people's decisions. Whether your face fits, or maybe they're just happy on that day, and they decide to take your proposal. And whilst we're having all these conversations, having these meetings, and people are umming and ahhing, we'll come back to you, we'll do this, we'll come back. My cousin, my blood cousin, just called me up. It's like, bruh, we can do this by ourselves. I said, what? He said, we don't need to wait. And you're always shouting about us learning from hip-hop. I've always made that a conversational piece. That Afrobeats and Afropop culture has to learn from hip-hop. If we learn from the last 25 years of hip-hop, we saw Sean John, Fat Farm, Kango, we saw Ciroc, we saw all of these incredible brands coming out of the hip-hop culture and success.
Yeah.
So we need to start doing that now, or else by the time we wake up, we will be enslaved in chains again.
Yes.
Because we have already sold everything to. So when he was speaking to me, I'm like, okay, if you do the research, where can we make this produced? How can we get it packaged, licensed, authorized, What would it take for us to start? Then I would sit at the table and think about it. I'm from a pretty working background. My father's a medical doctor. I've come from that. Just whatever you do, you get paid for it, you go home and be happy. I've never been into buying and selling. I have never come from that background. So I never had, that business kind of thing.
Mindset.
Yeah. So my cousin came back and he gave me the figures. We can do this, and we can start with any amount of money. You can start any business with any amount of money.
Wait. Okay.
You can start with any amount of money.
How is that even going to be possible?
All right, so let me give you an example. Let me make it as simple as this. If we wanted to start producing an energy god, for example, and the decision was to create 5,000 packs, of course it's going to cost you thousands and tens of thousands of pounds. But if all we wanted to do to test the waters was to create 5 packs, that could probably just cost us £500. And we could sell it to our friends and family and see what they think about that. And then from that, we'll turn it around and increase it to 1,000 packs and 2. And that was exactly what we did.
The plan. That was the strategy.
Yeah.
The first couple cans I had was even for show. We just paid for them to make prototypes. Let's have a look at it. Let's taste it. Do we like, eventually what the taste was like? And that was it. And then, okay, we had a couple packs. We sold it to friends and family. Okay. All right, how about we put a little bit more money into that and build a little bit more? And even though I had no business acumen, business actually is like that. You start small until you go big. Unless you are a Keni, where what I mean? It's a hero's diary where you start big and you go bigger. But for a lot of us, we start...
Burst. No, but Jesus said. Wait. So you're saying...
Yeah.
Okay, I understand the strategy and how you said it. But someone's going to come up with an excuse that in your own case, while you may not have had the cash currency, you had the, how do you call it? Social currency. You had a social currency that because you were able to leverage, don't do like this.
Bro.
Wait. If we look on your Instagram and all that.
You're getting it completely wrong.
No, I'm just trying to get something.
Let me tell you something.
Whiskey.
Before you go there.
Energy God. Oops.
Sorry, before you go there.
Yeah.
And you have to let people know this. Law 1, nobody supports a dead brand. That's the first law of business. Nobody, I repeat, supports a dead or a parked car. If you're not a moving train, nobody's going to jump on it. That's a fact.
Right.
Wizkid taking this and holding it up. Should I give you a short story about that?
Please do.
I flew to Amsterdam in October 2022 with 2 cans of energy drink. And I'd made up my mind that one of them was going to be endorsed by Wizkid. However I was going to get into that building, I didn't know. I'm not guaranteed access to all those concerts as people think I am. I flew to Amsterdam. I got there. I couldn't get any access to the building.
On your own?
On my own. He had a concert, a 20,000 capacity concert, sold out, everything big. I flew there on my own. I booked a hotel. I had a can that I was going to give to Wizkid at all costs. When I got to Amsterdam, the promoter of the show, as they do, shout out my brother DJ Henry X and Bomb Bomb Entertainment, they didn't pick up the phone. That's normal. But now we're doing business together anyway. But anyway, so he didn't pick up the phone. So I didn't have any access. But LAX was in Amsterdam. So I said, okay, LAX, I'll try to smuggle myself with you, even though he only had passes for his crew. Don't worry about me. You just go in. When he went in, he just mentioned that the security guard, that one of my crew members, they're still coming. Please, blah, 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 blah. Because it was LAX and they were ushering him in, one of the people at the door remembered that one of his members was still coming. Now, if you go into massive arenas like this, they do a strip down search. No can or liquid goes in to the building, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So I walk straight to the door. I see all the security guards opening people's bags. And I had this in my pocket. I'm like, nah. I'd already thrown the other one away because they didn't let me take it in through the front. So I'm like, this one's got to go with me. Whilst I'm there still pondering what I'm going to do, one of the security guards comes to me and says, who am I looking for? Why am I here? So I said, I came with LAX. Whilst I was speaking to him, the person that was with LAX that heard him say a member of his team was on his way, heard me say LAX, and was like, come this way. So rather than walk towards the security that was doing the checks, I just 6'4" tall, majestic walk towards the other security guy. And he assumed, because I had no bags on me, nothing, he assumed there was nothing to search. I was wearing an African trousers, and that was it. So they just felt, he just pulled me in. I'm in the building now. However,
First hurdle.
behind the stage, I've got no access.
All right.
So I'm in the building, walking around, just trying to find my way to where Wizkid is now. In the process, I see all the LAX and whatever, everybody was barricaded. We couldn't get close to where Wizkid was. However, he came with one UK bouncer. And that UK bouncer recognizes me.
You got lucky. What was that thing you say about luck, making preparedness and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
So when he recognized me, I just saw him. He said, hello. I shook his hand. And without him even saying anything, I just opened the door and walked into Wizkid's room. He was there. And straight away, before anybody could do nothing, I just said, Wiz, this is mine. And I need you to say something about it. At that time, we only had about 4 packs of the energy God created. 4 packs. So we had only invested less than £500.
Really?
But I got an endorsement from Wizkid at that time.
Right.
It was easy to get because I had gotten to him and we had a 12-year relationship. That relationship was built over 12 years. So that's where the social currency thing they must see you working. If Wiz had endorsed something that wasn't being created and hadn't had it would just, do you know how many things they've endorsed for people? Yeah. How many shout outs they've given? But because I continue to do this, it now looks like, oh man, this thing is consistent. You have to be consistent with it. But nothing comes without serious work.
Serious work, investment and time put in.
Yeah. Work you do. What have you learned about business? Because we know it's not easy. We know that it's not an overnight success. We know that it comes with hurdles, lessons learned, sometimes cash loss. What can you tell us about your journey as a businessman now?
As a business person, the first law is that the money you invest in your business is no longer the money in your pocket.
Wait. Rewind. What is that?
When you invest into your business, you can no longer touch that money to spend for yourself. That money now is tied to the business. If you want it to grow, that is.
Right.
Because that's what you start to double up and flip and invest back and reinvest and take back into it.
When you double up, can you come on?
You can't. Because responsibilities increase. Now you're creating adverts. You have members of staff. Your investment. Once it's the business money, you're going to have to look away from it for a long time. That's law 1. Investment money stays in the investment if you want it to grow. Yeah. That's the first one. Number 2, there's no friendships in business.
Oh. Do you have a story time for us?
It's simple.
Bros.
There is no friendships in business. In business, people that you would expect your relationships to come to the fore to help the business grow, they ain't gonna make that happen.
You're talking to me today.
So you will have to keep working and looking elsewhere. You see those friendships you have? When your business grows, they'll come and want to do business with you. But until then, don't even look at them for any support to elevate your business.
Wait, let me... Okay,
the
sorry.
friends even come to you to ask for unnecessary discounts for a business that
Friends
you
and
just
family
started.
discounts.
Come on, man. The business that hasn't even yielded anything, they want the worst discounts. I have to preach times 5 to people that are my friends than to people I don't have any relationship with when it comes to this.
I agree, and I completely understand what you mean, because I think because of that familiarity and that relationship, it feels as if they are owed that 5% discount.
Come on, man. Like,
you know, instead of saying,
And
okay,
they might not even
I will stock your stuff in my hotel, in my restaurant, in my bar.
Straight up.
I will buy full price. They're like, bro, how about small 15% off?
Or
Because
this, that.
But looking at it from the other side, how at that initial stage when you're still pushing and you're still grinding and still making things happen, how are you going to make it happen if not with the people around you? That's your currency at that stage.
Unfortunately, that when it comes to business, especially buying and selling, you'd ask people a lot of the times, you know, the people that you have friendship relationships with really don't come through, you know. It's almost like a pastor is respected in foreign lands. People that see you from afar are more likely to do the right type of business with you than people that are close by. You know, that's another one that
Have you had any experience?
Of course.
Any really big experience?
Absolutely. I'll give you one, for example. I saw a venue, an incredible venue somewhere in London. Shout outs to my brother Ken at 042. I'd never met him before. I just walked into the venue, had a conversation with him about something completely different, and he found out that I had my energy drink. And that conversation led to his company instantly taking on my energy drink as the only energy drink in his club, which is the largest Afrobeats club in the UK, 1,500 capacity. Someone I'd never met before.
wow.
Hadn't made a penny off of me. Hadn't benefited from any of my relationships. Just a conversation. And he saw a young man trying to make it happen. And he just put, boom, his brand, like, nah, we're going to do this. Trust me, I've been at tables with people I know.
So conversely, have you had experience of a friend that really hurt?
Well, it hurts every time.
That didn't work.
It hurts every time when you have to explain to people that know your journey. Because I don't have to. Come on, man. You know my journey, man. Yeah. It's like Noma, you know, me trying to explain my journey to Noma, who's been around it for the last couple of years. That's going to hurt differently. But that's business. Because you also have to understand that the other party, your friend or not, or friends or not, they're also looking at business. So in business, everybody looks to cut the best deal for themselves.
Yeah.
That's another law.
Yeah.
Everybody. If it doesn't suit you, believe me, it suits them. If it suits you, most times it does not suit them. You know, so that's how certain people look at business. And when I always say something that I hate professional business people. I hate professional industry people because they come off heartless, they come off cold, and
that sounds like what you're talking about right now.
That's what I'm saying. So when I say professional, even professional people in the music business, I hate working with them because they see an opportunity when you see love.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see passion, they see an opportunity.
Wait, Shopsy, sorry.
Yes.
It's a bit, I'm seeing a bit of a contradiction here now. So you're talking no friends, just go hard on business.
That's business.
And yet you're talking see love.
Let me explain to you. In the music business, You asked me about people that I've supported. I've supported people that didn't have nothing that became the biggest superstars. I met Yemi Alade at the time when she only had one song, not even a visa. And we had started a friendship. From that, one song, I went into Europe. I heard the song. I reached out to my friend that distributed it. This song is big in Europe. You need to get this girl to London. She ain't got no visa. She's just hustling, trying to come up. You need to do it. Make it happen. She got a visa. They flew her to London. They drove her to me on the first day when she was in UK, and we met in 2014, and we started a relationship and a friendship. Now she is one of the biggest superstars of this generation and one of the most successful. At the time when I connected with her, I didn't see the success. I came to her with passion and love. But because of the kind of person she is and her team is, they reciprocated that love and passion towards me. But some people would have seen an opportunity in me. This is Shopsy Doo. He's one of the loudest mouths in the Afrobeats industry. He can put us in different platforms. Whilst he's giggly about us, let's use this guy, And that's what professional music business people do. And professional people in every aspect of business, whenever they see passion, they see an opportunity because you're willing to do it for free. I'm willing to come and carry a camera here for free to record this podcast. Keni sees that in me and will now use that passion to work me for free for the next 1 year, even though he can pay for
That's
it.
exploitation, pretty much. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Talk about it,
So
Shopsy.
professional
Talk about
people
it.
in every sector are the most dangerous because every time they are met with love and passion, they see an opportunity. They will always see an opportunity. I've come with my energy drink now. First of all, I'm gassed that I'm able to create a brand, create something of my dreams and brought it to reality. So the fact that I'm even coming here to speak to you about it, bro, man, this is it. This is this thing, to get it here and get it packaged and whatever, it's going to at least cost me a minimum of 24, 25 pounds a pack. We're only paying 20 pounds for packs here. But you can tell I'm desperate because this is my passion.
Or they say
So-
no, for exposure, just put it on our counters
let's
because
do
we
it.
are the biggest restaurant in East London or we're the
So-
biggest bar in Central London.
So
Give it to us for
them,
free.
They are professionals in that position. I'm not. If I was a professional in that position, I would probably have come to you and said, listen, man, honestly, this thing gets to the UK at 35 pounds. So by the time you cut it to 25, I got you too. But I'm coming to you saying, listen, like this, we're probably going to have a margin of 2 pounds, 3 pounds, because I'm still fresh. I'm fresh. I don't know nothing. I'm still led by passion, this thing must survive. So in every sector, most importantly, the music business and the entertainment business is the worst place to deal with professionals because they have been doing this for years. So the only thing they're thinking about is money. Don't come to preach. Don't come with your passion.
Yeah, but I thought that's what you were talking about when you said no friendship, no. Because you give the analogy of Yemi Alade.
Yeah.
That's a very clear example of friendship and love developed that has enhanced
Yeah,
business.
but I'm not saying everybody. That's why I said professional. Those that are professionals at it. Yeah. So we basically
cutthroat guy.
So we stumbled together. I watched them grow whilst I was growing. Adekunle Gold, LAX, Wizkid, David O. These guys were not professional music business people. Right. They grew in that industry. Hence why the energy that we share together is always raw and authentic. Because we meet each other at the old passion and not the business world now. Because if you do with the business side of things now, you'll be frustrated. Hence why a lot of people quit this industry. Do you know how many people quit this industry on a daily basis? Yeah. Media platforms that disappear every 6 months. Yeah. Musicians or producers that never come back. Wow. Because they dealt with professionals who knew that you have to sign rights. You have to, make sure your publishing is right. You have to make sure that your music... But they didn't know that. They were just knocking beats together, giving hit records. But the artist already knew this was green. This one's green, don't worry. When the hit record comes, you find out that you're not getting any pay.
Again,
Because you were working with professional people that is their day-to-day.
Yeah.
So they're looking for passion, and they can exploit an opportunity.
But let's talk about that, though, the exploitation of the music industry, entertainment industry, because as a newcomer, sometimes you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have anyone who is informed, like a Shopsy, to tell you, Noms, don't do X, Y, Z, do this. You don't have anybody to impart that knowledge and that wisdom onto you. So you walk in and you're being taken advantage of for years and years, and you're not making money. You're investing your time, your energy, your passion. You're supporting and building other people's brands or other people's dreams whilst they're taking advantage of you and you're not gaining. How do we support them in that sense?
Information is key all the time. If you don't know, look at people to ask for. You know, DJ Abbas has been on this platform. Every time in my life when I wanted to make a huge decision, in my life, that's one of the few people I have serious conversations with. In my life, you know, I have extremely intelligent people in my bloodline, but DJ Abbas is someone I sit down with at every time. And I've looked at it over the last 15 years. So you have to identify people that can impact knowledge on you. That's law one. And number two, you also have to make sure that you are doing the work and not looking for instant success. Smade has been on this platform. This is somebody that I've been around grinding from the ground up, hustling from the ground up, and failing along the way, picking up successes along the way, looking for information along the way, getting it wrong. That is part of making sure that you have a goal, but you have to also make sure that you have people around you that you can tap knowledge from. If you don't, you will just be moving around and be disappointed, because this thing is not guaranteed to anybody. Yeah, it's not guaranteed to anybody. You know, information is key. And even though you want to share with people, people have to be ready to go looking for that information too.
How's this doing now, Shopsy, and where are you taking it?
Listen, man, this is 12 months in the making. Shout outs to all the platforms and the restaurants and the bars.
It is
Smade
great,
Lounge.
It's just really amazing. I mean,
Smade Lounge, 042, Enish Restaurants, Tasty Restaurants. You know, these are people that we walked into the door. Smade is my brother. You know, that one is not even a question of talking to. But we have all these platforms that we've been to. It's been 12 months in the making, and I can, you know, proudly say that I have a business that's been running for over 12 months. Yeah. And that for me, apart from anything else, is success.
Yeah. Has the money started rolling in yet?
Not yet, but it's going to come.
Yeah.
It's got no choice but to come.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I love that. Money has no choice but to come to me. The money must come.
Has to come.
It's a lot of energy.
Yeah, man.
You can see the way he's dripping. He looks like money anyway.
It's a lot of energy, and God will bless it.
Amen.
I want to be like the hero's diary.
Come on now.
I watch the podcast. I see you have incredible conversations here. And it's very necessary. It's very important for the culture, and it's very important for everything that we're trying to do as Black people, most especially for me, African people in diaspora. Yeah. You know, we were the bottom of the barrel. We were the ones nobody wanted to relate with. We were the ones that nobody wanted to be a part of. Yeah. We found a culture for ourselves. We created a voice for ourselves, and now we're the coolest cats in the room.
We really are.
Cool,
and I love that for us. Wait, so you've gone back to radio.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You've gone back to radio. Yeah. You still got the podcast.
Yes.
And you're online, being the #1 platform for Afrobeats news and anything relating to the superstars of our world. What is Shopsy going to conquer next in terms of media?
I think for me, it's about developing my podcast, the Afrobeats podcast, into a platform that just continues to celebrate Afropop culture and Afrobeats. Everything that I've done within the entertainment industry is really tailored or targeting celebrating us, and being independent. You know, that is my ultimate dream. Without having to wait for anybody to give us opportunities, promote us, celebrate us. We're doing our own thing ourselves. So anything around media going forward for Afrobeats and African people, that's where I want to be. That's the dream now. The next thing for me will be showcasing more Afro-related stuff from inside of the countries rather than from the UK here. So if I wanted to talk about South Africa, I want to go to South Africa and showcase that. You know, that really will be the 2024 dream and goal. You know.
Would you ever consider artist development and leaving this side and going straight into the business of music, being an artist developer, A&R, being a music manager specifically, and leaving this side?
So I do that on the side. But one of the reasons why I want to do it full time is purely because if you're managing an artist or you're involved in developing an artist full time, you almost become a parent to that. Yes. They come first, you know, in your life. But I got 3 kids. I got 3 kids. I got 3 kids. I got a family that's first. I've got a business and I'm trying to develop. Yeah. And sometimes creatives are the most difficult people to work with. Being a creative genius also means that you'll be operating at a level that normal human beings like us don't understand. Yeah. So sometimes that can be a massive challenge. Yeah. And having to tussle with people so that they can see things your way. Sometimes, nowadays, I don't think I have that much time unless I really, really love you. Yeah. Yeah, if I say it once or twice, you don't get it. Oh, you don't go do whatever you want to do, man. You know, I know what's good for you.
Good for you,
yeah, so I think that's the difficulty when it comes to A&R and management for me. But I'm still doing it in ghost mode.
Yeah. On the low.
Behind a couple of people, I dedicate my time for their success because I'm a big fan of theirs, I also believe in their success being the right type of positive image that our culture needs.
Wow. Okay. As we begin to kind of wind down, it's been a very energetic one, you know what I mean? It really makes sense to touch a bit more into your background, how this all started. What I would like to kind of know is obviously a bit of your upbringing, your growing, but more importantly, what do you think in your growing up as a man has really influenced you to become this? Are there any pointers, anything in your childhood?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Become what you are now?
I'm blessed to have the type of father that I have. In my opinion, one of the most intelligent people that ever walked the face of this earth. Okay. One of the most charismatic, good-looking men that I've ever seen. As a kid, the one thing that my father impacted on every single one of us was confidence. He believed we were the best at whatever it is we wanted to do, and that we should do whatever it is that we wanted to do. He was never like this hard, tough dad, do this, even though he wanted us to do specific things, but he gave the right reasons and he gave the right comfort and encouragement for it. And watching my father be who he is, started as a medical doctor, went into politics, did this and that, his upbringing, his background, that for me gave me confidence that a lot of people my age or my group never had. And with that, I carried that along. So whatever it is I was doing, whether I was working as a security guard at a football club, or I was working at a nightclub in Hemel Hempstead, or working at West Ham or Chelsea, I stood out because regardless of my position, I was proud of whatever it is that I was doing. Pride in oneself is something you can't pay for. And once you have that as a young person, and you're dedicated to whatever it is you're doing, it's going to shine through. And I think that's one thing that I carried and was able to transfer into my media dream and promoting Afropop culture and Afrobeats and entertainers.
So would you say having that father figure
that's everything to me,
So do you think that, how important do you think that is in the Black community?
Anybody that knows me within a couple conversations know how important my father is to me. And I think as an example, that is why I am extremely involved in my kids' lives and try to be as flexible as a father as I can be. Encourage them to have a hobby, regardless of what their educational and aspirational dreams are. You know, the role of a father can never, ever, ever be less important. Yes, we know how important mothers are, especially to Africans. A mother makes a home. A mother raises the kid. But a father sometimes gives vision, leadership, direction, encouragement, confidence, and you can't get that anywhere else.
Can you hear that?
You can't. You know.
Yeah,
So for me, I'm an advocate of fathers.
That's
I
good.
think everybody, every man must be a father, and a very, very impactful one. So for me, it's always going to be number one.
Wow, congratulations, man.
Thank you
And
very much.
I think that's really good, and I hope people are really listening and they're jumping on that and continuing to subscribe and like.
Yeah, whilst they go to energygod.com,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Making sure they buy the energy
seriously,
god.
man.
Get
So
your energy
Shopsy's
drink.
been on here now. This is Energy God. I don't know.
Thank you for having me.
But Shopsy, where can they get this, man?
Go
Like,
to
it
Ener-
actually tastes nice. I've
Listen.
been doing, whiskey there now, and I'm
Go
feeling
to
the feel.
energygod.com, and that's energy and GAWD.com. Place your orders, support African businesses, support black businesses, support us. This is for us, by us, and we need your support. And one more thing, click the like button, subscribe, share, comment. We appreciate the growth. The bigger this platform gets,
Yeah, man.
the better
Yeah,
we
man.
become
Yeah,
at
man.
promoting our own people without waiting for anybody else. So
Yeah,
whilst
man.
you're watching, subscribe before you get out of here. Thank you.
Yeah,
Black
man.
stories,
Not only subscribe,
black
tell us,
stories.
it makes sense to get a bit of feedback. So
Yes.
guys, feel free to leave your comments, please. Very, very important. Not because we just want comments and all that, because we want to hear from people so that you can know what's working.
Let Keni
what's
know
not working,
whether you like what he's wearing or not.
Whether you're feeling the drip or not.
You know that kind of thing.
You know.
But before we go, I have a
Yes.
question.
Yes.
I mean, Shopsy, you are an influencer.
Yes.
You're an influencer now, and your voice carries power.
Yes.
What you say is very influential. You're
Yes.
a tastemaker within the culture. Are you aware of the power of your voice, what you say, what you put out there, and how do you use that power?
I am aware now of how influential some of the things that I say are. And I've started to carry that with a little bit more responsibility, especially at very tricky and difficult times when there are things happening within the culture that probably affect some of our biggest entertainers. I know if I add my voice to criticism, then it becomes extremely negative for them. And for me, each one of these advocates and ambassadors for our culture has really put us in positions that we will never, ever, ever do nothing but celebrate. So even in their difficult times, that's when I control my voice the most, to make sure that I don't add negativity, I don't add bad vibes to whatever it is that they're going through. And it took me years to understand that. You know, I went from a media personality to a critic and now an advocate. So that's where I am. I'm an advocate for the culture. So I use my voice that way.
Well,
Shopsy,
we love it.
Quick one.
Yes.
You're an immigrant in the UK.
Yes.
What's your view on immigration?
Immigration is always a positive. Immigration gives flavor, mixture, information to a country and to a community. The diversity should be celebrated and should be welcomed. Yes, immigration is a very sensitive topic here because people talk about the increasing numbers. But for me as an immigrant, my place is always to advocate for diversity and tolerance. Because I know if not for immigration, I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the relationships I have. And I'm nothing but a positive advocate for immigration. Of course, it has to work, but it's a good thing for a community.
Confirm. Woo!
Guarantee.
Nah.
We be Africans.
We be
so
Africans. We be
people
the
got to
Africans.
come in.
African
You heard
Africans.
me? You know what I mean?
That's it. On the last note, Noms, before I go down, you got anything else you want to say?
No, I wanted to say, I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
Thank you. And I'm proud of you. You look amazing too.
Thank you.
Hello,
I
I'm
mean,
here,
I
I'm
always
here,
do.
I'm here.
You look high. You look high.
I did hear.
I really am proud of you. Just the
Thank
way you
you.
conduct yourself as a friend, as a brother, as a father, as a businessman, as a confidant. We, as a culture, we are proud of you. As a sister, I am
Thank you.
proud of you and inspired by you. And I want to give you your flowers because
Thank
I don't
you.
think you realize just the little things that you do that actually influence and impacts other people's lives.
Thank you.
You've impacted my own life personally, which you probably don't know to what extent, but you really have. So thank you for all you do, for me personally, for the culture as a whole, and just for being a positive figure. Because I think, as you said, in this industry, with the power that you hold, you could very easily be the critic. You could very easily be saying or criticizing some of our, should I say, celebrities, but you don't, and you choose positivity. So I really want to commend you for that.
Means a lot. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Positive everywhere, positive energy.
Thank you.
Baba,
Yeah.
as always, we doing now. We always prouding on a
Miami
prouding level.
next.
You know, Miami next. Bro, man.
We outside.
Hey. Just let the boys do their voice too. Brother,
Yo.
wait. The camera just plenty. Which one? Okay, now that one. So essentially what it is now is, you know now, you've been very vocal here, letting it out, telling people and all this kind of energy and all that. We got brothers and sisters back home and all over the world.
Yes.
Where we say they're much younger. They're listening to what we're saying now and they are being impacted because everyone's watching Heroes Diary all over the world. Yes. Anyway, help us tell the young boys, the young girls in this remotest part of the world who's having all these dreams to be like a Shopsy, to achieve these things.
Absolutely.
How will they make that happen?
It's very simple. First of all, have dreams. Have hobbies that you can put your passion towards and be ready to work for as long as possible. Success doesn't come in a day and might not come in a year. But if you're continuous and persistent about those dreams you believe in, ultimately, they will lead you to the door that takes you to the level you want to go to. Whatever it is you're putting your mind to, you can ultimately achieve that dream, regardless of your current states of mind or your current states around you, especially if you're from where we're from, in Africa where things are difficult. Believe, dream, have a passion, have a hobby, and follow it regardless of the difficulties.
That one now.
Okay, last question.
Last.
I promise.
Last.
Everybody go show breakfast.
What's this
we
question now?
are living in a turbulent time, if we're being real. Turbulent times, but also you're in an industry that is very turbulent in itself. There's a lot that happens that we don't see behind the scenes. How important is your faith in keeping you stable and keeping you sane and just operating on a normal?
I grew up in a home where morning and night prayers were essential. And I've carried that all my life. So I say prayers every morning when I step out the door and most times before I go to bed. Religion and my faith is everything. I do not believe anything happens without faith in a higher power. And that comes with upbringing. The industry that we're in can be very, evil. So the only way to carry yourself over that is to believe in something and really put your mind and your spirits towards it. Without that, there will be no direction. There will be nobody to look up to in difficult times. And I think for any young person or anybody in this industry, the only way to guide yourself through it, yes, surround yourself with great people, but have a faith that you can go on to in your quiet time and cry to. With that, you're guaranteed success.
Anything is possible.
Another
last things, but no. Yeah. Seriously, bros, on the rounding up things, you are a podcaster as well.
Yes.
And this is a podcast.
Yes.
That we are podcasting to the world so that they are feeling the feel. You know how they go. Bros, your Afrobeat podcast has been going on for 2 years?
3 years.
50,000 subscribers.
Fucking hell, man. Brother, now give us the tips now.
Consistency.
Oh, shit.
Podcasting is about, building a family, building a community that trusts that your work will always be there for them, new ideas, new content. And if you feed that supportive community, they'll take you to the rest of the world. It's about feeding those who admire you enough to show you to others. And that is the key to success for podcasters. So for the Heroes Diary, it's that simple.
Yeah, you got it. So if you're hearing this now,
take it to your family.
That's it. You know what I mean? Click, subscribe, like, comment, whatever, everything. But seriously, guys, let's just make this grow. Let's help. There's Noms here, there's Shopsy here. But Afrobeats podcast. That's the one,
Yep.
Follow my bro. Follow my bro. Shopcast is. I mean, we are still trying. We're still trying to, learn the rope. Shopsy don't host the whole of the big people in the world. You know what I mean? Like, this is the main bro, man. But Shopsy, really, really massive thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate you. Noms, always coming and splashing all this beauty.
I try.
On the everywhere. We're
It's
really
good.
grateful,
It's
man.
really good.
Yeah, nah, it's really amazing, man. Shopsy, where we going next, bro? Where we enter?
We might enter Nigeria.
Crazy.
They come. What you brought Nigeria?
We're coming.
They show.
Don't worry, we'll go together.
That's it. We'll take you.
My passport stay ready. My passport stay ready. Let's
we'll
go.
convert it to Nigeria now. There are plenty of fine boys in Nigeria. You see how the thing
You
go.
back.
You don't go come back. All right, guys. Listen, man. Thank you so much, man. Until the next episode. Peace out.
Peace, and we're out.
And we're out.